Thank you for joining us. This is the Nikki Maduro Show. I'm Nikki Maduro. She's Kim McAllister, and we are here to talk about all things news, politics, pop culture, nonsense, everything. And if you want to keep us here, please make sure you click that thumbs up button to show your support and make sure you have subscribed and hit that bell. Coming up on the show, we're going to talk about the roast of Tom Brady. How many of you have seen it? Did it go too far? I love roasts. I never think they go too far. We'll also talk about a teacher who got caught. And in a way in which I think a lot of parents can relate to. If you're a parent, this has likely either happened to you or has been close to happening to you. But when you're a teacher, that's probably not the best thing that should happen.
Speaking of teachers, did you know it's Teacher Appreciation Week?
It is Teacher Appreciation Week, and thank you to every teacher out there. I am learning more and more about your jobs, and I think my hat I tip to you.
We have a bunch of teachers. I know
we do.
Teacher Lori.
Yeah.
We have, Lori Dolly, who's another teacher who watches the show. There's a bunch of you guys out there.
Yeah, and not just school teachers, dance teachers, everybody. Like
Murphy's
dance. A dance teacher. Like, anybody that, whether you teach human beings or you teach dogs new tricks, you know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot of patience to do what you do, and you should have the whole year. You shouldn't just have a week, because you touch every single life you encounter. So thank you.
Yesterday, Jacob wrote little notes to his teacher about things that she does that make him happy, and he hid them around the whole classroom.
And he just did that on his own?
Yeah, and she's even found a few like the next day, and the next day she keeps finding them in places.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. And then he wrote her this big note that they have a thing you're supposed to do every day.
Yes,
today,
yes.
Tell your teacher something you like about her. That was the day he wrote all the notes. Today, tell your teacher what you specifically like about her class and your favorite subject, and why you like the way she teaches it. Or
right.
And so he wrote her this big card about how he loves the way that he teaches it. She teaches math and makes it easy to understand, and she's so amazing and all this stuff. And he puts it in this envelope and he colors this big picture. I said, did anyone else bring cards for her today? And he's like, nope. I was the only one.
Oh, well, gold star for you, Jacob. But that sucks.
Know.
Like, and what grade is this?
4th.
I mean, not that it falls on the parents. That is getting up into the age where you have to be responsible. But it's always the parents that get the emails like, this day we're doing that. This day we're doing that. And so kind of dropping the ball. I don't want to judge parents because it's hard. But it's also hard being a teacher. So hopefully maybe the kids noticed and they'll be better today.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think maybe I'll bring her lunch tomorrow.
You're so sweet.
Send lunch in.
You're such a good mom. Well, I was the class mom.
I'm the room mom, so I got to do something.
Exactly.
Right?
I loved it. I loved it. Because when you work with children, when your organization has to do with children, there's a lot of scrutiny. And that kind of brings us to the first topic I wanted to talk about, which was the Boy Scouts of America. Apparently, the Boy Scouts are going to be changing their name. The new name starting in February of 2025, actually February 8th, 2025, because that's the organization's 115th anniversary. It's going to be called Scouting America. It's to be more inclusive. Here's a little bit of an announcement found on ABC News. Play.
I think it sends this really strong message to everyone in America that they can come to this program, they can bring their authentic self, they can be who they are, right? And they will be welcomed here. The argument that I make with the people that say, well, I always like Boy Scouts of America or BSA, why do we have to change? Membership is at historic lows, right? Part of my job is to reduce all the barriers I possibly can for people to accept us as an organization and to join.
Okay, so here's my question. And I don't like using this phrase because I think that it's so overused and it's so stupid. But people are going to say it themselves. Is the Boy Scouts, or are the Boy Scouts going woke? Like, are they being so inclusive? And I'm supporting this. Like, be inclusive. But it's like, one, for me personally, you can't just change the name. You have to change the culture. The reason the Boy Scouts, it wasn't just LGBTQ people. You had a molestation problem on your hands. Like, it's hard to send your children off to the woods
No.
without you when there's this scandal that's plaguing your organization.
Which is why I won't sign my son up for Boy Scouts. Now I know a lot of people have a great
Yes.
experience with that.
My son did.
I
Yeah.
have an uncle that is an Eagle Scout, not an uncle, a brother-in-law that's an Eagle Scout. So there's a lot of people that got joy from it, went all the way through, learned a lot, had developed characters, whatever.
Right.
But I don't like what that organization is or what it stands for. And so when you say, well, our numbers are at an all-time low. So, okay, so then let's open it up and pull the girls in so we can hurt them too? No.
Well,
Absolutely not. Julia did Girl Scouts up until 9th grade. And Jacob wants to know, why can't he do Boy Scouts?
and what do you tell him?
We don't believe in the organization. They hurt children and didn't protect children.
Okay.
And so we don't like that group. But it's hard because my nephew's a Boy Scout.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's the way we feel about it.
And so so is it your sister's son?
Mm-hmm.
And what does she say when she hears you tell Jacob that?
I don't think she's heard me tell him that. It's just why we don't do it. We don't.
Does she
talk
know
about it
that
around
that's
them.
why?
I think so. Because they have a lot of fundraisers and I won't donate.
I love
Not to that.
there is something to be said about Kim McAllister. I mean, she holds the line and there's no gray area that she doesn't support it. I don't support you. I don't care. I'm not buying your damn popcorn. It's not happening.
I draw the line when you abuse children.
Well, duh.
When you abuse children and you put your organization above children. Same reason that I have a huge problem with Sonoma Academy, which is or was it Sonoma Academy? It's this fancy high school. Costs $50,000 a year to go to this private high school in Sonoma County. There was a sexual abuse scandal that happened, and instead of protecting the children that came to report it, they swept the problem under the rug. They didn't address it. They didn't even tell the Sonoma County Office of Education about the teachers involved. And finally, when everything came out, those teachers were at different high schools teaching kids still involved in children's lives.
Exactly.
I have zero respect for you.
Yeah.
Same with the Catholic Church. You know how I feel. When you start messing with kids, I'm out.
Okay. So as a full disclosure, my son was in the Boy Scouts. My husband was the scout lead, like his little troop.
So you knew that it was safe. Yeah.
Yeah. My husband was going. And I don't know if this is how it is everywhere, because again, my son didn't stay in Boy Scouts for too long. Definitely not till 9th. I mean, he's been out of it a couple of years. So just keep it that way. But if there was any girls, they wanted to do anything, women had to go. So it allowed women to come in, which again, it's this whole, and I wasn't going to bring it up because it had gone viral. I don't know if you've talked about it on your show, the whole man versus bear thing in the woods that's been going viral online. Have you heard about this?
No.
You haven't heard about this?
No.
This is actually not new. Anybody that thinks this is a new question and a new thing happening on the internet, years ago, I feel like this came out and it comes up. Here's the question, Kim.
Okay.
If you were going to be alone in the woods as a woman or your daughter, would you rather be alone in the woods, knowing there's a bear out there or there's a man out there?
And I don't know anything about the man?
No, it's just a grown man alone in the woods. And so is your daughter.
The greatest guy ever, but he also could be.
And it could be a bear. And there's a bear as well. What would you choose?
Bear.
So a lot of men. So would I. You know what? I'm probably going to leave the bear the fuck alone. You know who's not going to leave me alone? Probably the man.
Right.
And I say that because I love my husband, my son, and my dad. But it's like the Boy Scouts or the Catholic Church. There is a reputation that unfortunately shadows even the best of intentions, the best people that are part of the organization, the best people that are part of a gender. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry, my husband, would never hurt a woman ever. But men in general, if I'm talking like bears in general or men in general, like there's a reason why you tell women and not men, call me when you get home, carry pepper spray. When have you ever looked at a man and said, don't forget your pepper spray? Here's how you protect yourself. Come on now.
Forest? No. A crazy guy in the forest. I mean, we're taught what to do about bears. Make yourself big, right? Scream and holler.
Leave them alone and they'll leave you alone, probably.
Right? And there's a chance we'll never run into each other.
Exactly.
But the man, if he's a bad one.
Yeah. So a bunch of men are obviously taking offense to it. And they're like, yeah, until you need somebody to save you from the bear. Or it will leave you to the bears. It's like proving my point that you just don't care about women. But anyways, I know many great men who would never harm a woman. I know
Yeah.
many great men and boys that have been part of the Boy Scouts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My good colleague, Brett Burkhart, also an Eagle Scout, right?
Mhm.
Wouldn't hurt a woman, wouldn't hurt a child.
No, the
But
sweetest man.
unfortunately, what's happened within the organization and how they reacted to it, and not even talking about the whole LGBTQ inclusiveness, religious aspect of the Boy
That's right.
Scouts. I don't think a name change is going to do it right away. Do I want the Boy Scouts in general to go away? They need to clean house.
Yeah.
I think, and I, again, don't want to be sexist and being mean to men. Add more women to your organization, because just as men in general may in certain instances have a bad reputation, women have a good one.
Mhm.
Like if a kid is lost in the mall, do you know what they tell them? Go find a woman, right? Go find a woman. Why do they say that? Because women are caretakers. Not saying there's never a bad woman or a woman that won't do terrible things to children, of course. But again, we're talking about reputation.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I was in the woods,
As a
I'm
matter of
taking
fact,
the bear.
if there's a kid in a shopping area
Mhm.
that, or even walking down the street that
Mhm.
I don't see attached to a grown up,
Yeah, you find them. Hey, let me help you.
I'm looking, like I'm
Yep.
waiting to see, where is this kid going? What's
Exactly.
happening?
Exactly. And
Do
so
I need
that's
to
just
step in here? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the Boy Scouts of
Yeah.
America, but good luck. It takes a long time to switch a reputation that's been damaged as much as that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to Bakersfield. We were just talking about, like, what would you do in certain situations? Would you do the right thing? If you were in the mall and you saw a kid by themselves, you would try to do the right thing. Well, apparently, a concerned citizen was in the right place at the right time when 4 little boys from an elementary school approached her with an odd question. And this was just really, it's quite the interesting story. Here's a little bit of the news program.
One concerned citizen was in the right place at the right time when 4 little boys from McCullough Elementary approached her with an odd question Friday after school.
They asked me if marijuana was illegal. I told them yes.
The boys showed Erica De La Rosa a huge box of marijuana they found down the street near Westwolds and Brookside Drives. De La Rosa said she called 911.
They told me that it would be hours before an officer came out and asked if I could bring it down to the station.
De La Rosa said she brought the box with
Now, I'm just going to pause right there. How about no? Because if I get pulled over with all this weed, like,
Right.
no. But anyways,
Or what if somebody comes out and
wants
you're stealing their marijuana, and then all of a sudden there's a gun battle going on in the street, or they're shooting
I
at you?
mean, over some, it looks like dirt weed, but let's go.
bags of pot, oven bags, a bag sealer, a weight scale, and a roll full
Oh
of
my
labels saying,
God.
warning, opening this package will cause extreme happiness to the BPD headquarters. But she was told the lobby was closed and was removed by 2 officers.
The fact that
Wow.
I told them I have a trunk full of drugs
You probably
in my
thought she was on
car
drugs.
right outside the police station, why that wasn't concerning to them, I don't know.
That's when the disgruntled De La Rosa brought the situation and her trunk full of pot to 17 News. De La Rosa said the police even made her do the
Right on,
legwork
lady.
to try to get contact info from the 4 10-year-olds.
One ran away.
Hell yeah.
2 of the children gave me their names and their phone numbers, and the 3rd child only gave me his name.
It doesn't end there. De La Rosa left 17 News and brought the drugs back to PPD. She was told there were 33 emergencies and she was turned away again.
Whoa.
When it comes to drugs and children, that needs to be taken very seriously.
More than 19 hours after the pot was found, De La Rosa finally got a knock at the door from an officer sworn to serve, but told her to throw away the evidence.
It
What?
wasn't until about 11 o'clock Saturday morning did finally an officer show up at my door. Took pictures of everything in the box, confiscated the marijuana, and then told me to dispose the rest of the box.
What the hell?
She
I
threw
mean-
it in the dumpster.
She
Threw it in the dumpster.
I mean, look, okay, I'm going to say this. Obviously, Bakersfield, like they mentioned, they were getting a lot of calls, right? I think the child aspect is what would have been like,
Yeah.
okay, let me handle this. Because again, like you mentioned, Kim, who knows? Someone could have been looking for it. It's a lot of, I don't know how much money it's worth, but it's a lot of pot, drug dealing going on. Children could be caught in the crossfire. Take the friggin' box. How hard is it as an officer to be like,
Right.
Let me get your name, number, put the boxes.
Take the box and set it aside, whatever.
But you're going
So-
to make me drive with it
No.
to the police
Wrong.
station and no, it was
What
totally
a
handled
hokey
terribly.
bunch of crap. I would that's not the way it should have happened.
No,
First
no,
of
no,
all,
no.
I hope she used a fake name, because whoever's had that marijuana,
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, they could come after her for wanting money or whatever.
Or whatever, yeah.
Second of all, those kids, there were 4 10-year-olds. I have a 10-year-old. They're still little. They're still,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes, they're kids.
zone.
They're baby kids.
So this is not like a teenager that, you know, that can make a choice for themselves, even though I would say that they're too young as well.
Yeah, exactly.
These are 10-year-olds. They're in 4th or 5th grade. And so I would have a problem with anyone leaving drugs where the kids have access to that.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's
That should
just
be the
awful.
police should come out because kids have access to drugs.
Yeah.
No. That's
No.
that's number 1. That's the worst thing. Is pot illegal? Not anymore, not in California. Is it a big deal? Not unless kids are there. And guess
Yeah.
what? Kids are there.
Kids were there.
Yeah.
And again, I would also argue that in that quantity and with the obvious distribute to sell, I
Sure.
think that you're getting into the illegal aspect of it, right? I mean, you could have weed. I think there's a limit on the quantity and what you have with it, right?
I don't
I think
know
it has
if
to be
there's
personal.
I honestly don't know if there's a
I
limit
think it
on
has to be personal.
And can you sell it if you have a license to sell it? Perhaps.
I don't know. Above my pay grade.
I don't know.
I don't hang in those circles anymore. But anyways, if the kids have drugs, they can take the damn drugs away.
No.
How about that?
I hope Bakersfield police is embarrassed. And I love that
Exactly.
she drove right to the news station and she's like, I got
No,
drugs in my
screw
trunk.
you. Exactly. Can you imagine if you were at like KGO and someone's like, I got weed in San Francisco? You're like, well, I got weed in my trunk. And we're like, yeah, and like,
You want to do what? Oh, all right. Tell me the story. That's
There
right.
you go. Well, speaking about getting caught with stuff, now obviously alcohol is legal as well, but you're not supposed to have it in certain circumstances. A paraprofessional has lost her job after she brought it to school. Apparently, deputies were called to Morgan County Middle School. When they arrived, a male student had taken a Mountain Dew from teacher Alexandra Nicole Lambert. Officials say the student drank it, realized that the liquid inside in the bottle was something other than Mountain Dew. She was taken to the principal's office and admitted it was a water bottle full of vodka, but stated it was an accident.
How did
If
the
you
kid get it?
accidentally have that much vodka in your water bottle, one,
No.
you're an alcoholic, and two, what is wrong? You're drunk at school. Like,
Right.
I know, and we were talking to Teacher Appreciation Week. We know teaching is tough. Don't obviously drink at school.
Is
but
she a
this was-
teacher or a teacher's aide? Like a
She's a
paraprofessional?
paraprofessional.
Yeah,
so,
so she's
a
a
middle school
probably
worker,
A teacher's aide, whatever.
but still brought
Okay.
it to school. Like,
not okay.
not okay.
No.
Now, have you ever been caught with, something other than coffee or something that you're hiding in your
No.
glass and your kid was like, oh, let me take a sip, mama. And
I've never been hiding it, but one time at Christmas,
Mhm.
Julia was little, like
Yeah.
under 1 year old, and we were sitting around. It was the end, and we had these kind of aperitifs or dessert
Okay, yeah,
wines
like
in
a
our
liqueur
little,
or
they're little-
something, uh-huh.
really cute little crystal glasses.
yeah.
And she moved fast. Before we knew what she was doing, she snatched her little hand out, drank it, and put the thing back on the table.
Drank
And
the whole thing?
The whole thing. But I mean, it was just like a couple sips, but still pretty
Still,
strong.
the baby.
Right. And the families look.
Her
I mean,
teeth didn't hurt
I think
anymore.
someone had taken a sip out of it already.
Oh,
But we
that's
were all
so
looking
funny.
around at each other with our mouths hanging open, like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
She was fine, but yeah,
Right.
that was an accident.
Well, it's a lesson
Yeah.
I teach my children because I'm not an alcoholic, but I'm also very clumsy with glass. Okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
my husband will tell you, I've broken so many glasses that my in-laws have bought me way too much plastic glassware in my life. And so what I don't normally do is it's not a Stanley, but my water, the stainless steel cups, right?
Yeah.
They keep the ice cold. And so I
Sure.
usually, if I'm hanging out in the backyard or whatever and having an alcoholic beverage, that's where it goes.
Right.
I'll never forget years ago. I want to say, I think it was Dylan. He maybe was in 3rd grade, something like that. And I'm sitting there and it's just sitting next to me, full of ice. And he just grabs it and starts taking a sip. And I'm like,
no.
oh, and I was like, you can't just drink. And it was a life lesson. Like, you can't just drink out of glasses that aren't yours. That was my
Right.
message. I'm like, that's not for you. That's for me. And he spit it. I didn't like it, obviously. I was like, that's not for you. And so it's become such a well-known thing. Like that my kids pick it up. They're like, can I have some of this? This is water. And I go,
Like, what's in the cup, Mom?
well, you should ask. Stop drinking other people's drinks already. I didn't make that for you. It's my drink. But
That's
yeah,
the problem we have. We had a dispute today. They know not to drink out of my drink
right.
because there's no alcohol in there, but I don't like to share. I don't like people spittle.
Well, yeah, it's my cup.
in
Whatever,
my
no matter what's in
straw.
it. Yes.
I don't even care if I created you on this earth. Don't
Right.
put
No,
your
don't.
spittle on my straw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a toothbrush sharer? I'm a doubting no.
No.
That is so disgusting to me. Like,
No.
if anyone said, "Oh, I used your toothbrush," I would be visibly offended and sick.
I would be thinking,
be
where did I
so
keep the
mad.
spare tooth and the fresh toothbrushes? 'Cause I'm not
Exactly. Like
using that
that's
one ever
yours
again.
now. That's
Right.
yours now.
Gross.
Oh, so bad. Okay, real quickly before we end the show, we have to talk about the roast of Tom Brady. So
Why did he do this?
okay, full disclosure, my husband was watching it a little bit. I heard a little bit in the background, didn't sit down and watch it, but I have been seeing some reactions. And apparently, Gisele Bündchen, Tom Brady's ex-wife, quote unquote, deeply disappointed by irresponsible jokes about her marriage to Tom Brady. And I mean, I wonder, and I don't know if he did. I don't know if he cleared being roasted with Gisele. I mean, they're not married anymore. Like for instance, one Nikki Glazer, who apparently did really well. She went after Brady and his divorce, mocking the football store and remarking, "You have 7 rings. Well, 8 now that Gisele gave hers back," which isn't too bad. And also, apparently, I will say, they agreed as comedians not to go after the children,
Right.
which isn't necessarily always the case.
Mhm.
But these roasts, Kim, they're freaking brutal. I don't know why
Yeah.
anybody would sign up for it.
She said, Nikki Glazer, Tom also lost 30 million in crypto. Tom, how did you fall for that? Even Gronk was like, me know that, not real money.
That's actually a pretty good joke. That is
Yeah.
actually pretty good. I'll have to watch it. Now, some of these roasts can get very uncomfortable. I mean, the roast of Bob Saget. If you've never watched the roast of Bob Saget, Norm Macdonald's part, hilarious. It is so funny. This dog face joke is just too funny. But I mean, they can get, they do not hold back. They don't hold back. I would never want to be roasted. My feelings would be hurt. And I would probably slap a smile on my face, but I would not be happy. So
I just don't understand if you have that much baggage going on in your life.
why would you do that?
You have the divorce, you have the everyone with rumors swirling that your wife cheated on you for this, whatever he is, yoga instructor, Pilates guy, I don't know what he does. And you have the whole retirement scandal, right? Retiring, not retiring. Did you not retire? And that's why your wife left. All these things. Why would you put yourself on a stage where you're going to be ridiculed?
Yeah. Well, Jeff Ross, who's always like kind of the headmaster or whatever of the roasts, he was quoted by the Daily Beast saying, Tom loves the roast. He's a student of the roasts. If you love the roast, everyone wants to be the center of attention, even when there is a target on their back. It's all about him for 3 hours. And that quote has to be so true because remember 80 for Brady with Jane Fonda and all them? I mean, it was a whole movie about them loving Tom Brady. He was behind that movie. Like the guy's ego is huge. And so it doesn't surprise me. And I just thought maybe he doesn't give a crap about it, you know?
Here's what he said, Tom Brady.
Okay.
Remember Deflategate? The NFL spent $20 million and found it was more probable than not that I was generally aware that someone may have deflated my footballs. You could have just given me the $20 million and I would have told you I effing did it.
Exactly. I mean, that is huge to say, but he doesn't give a crap anymore because he's not in football anymore and he's Tom freaking Brady. You know what I mean? Like he's Tom Brady. I think he loves the limelight. I think you know, he's a great football player, whatever you think. He was a good football player. And I just don't think that he cares. Now, the kids, Gisele, a little uncomfortable, but I like the roast. So,
maybe it shows that
I'm going to go see it.
Maybe it shows that he doesn't take himself so seriously, that he's able to laugh at himself, that he's able to look back on all these scandals throughout his career and go,
right.
All right, there's humor there.
I guess
Right.
so. I mean, and if you can laugh at yourself, that's pretty cool. I mean, because we know a lot of people that cannot do it at all. So there you go. All right. Well, that's our show. Tomorrow we are going to be live. We're going to be live tomorrow.
Woo!
So tomorrow is our Mother's Day show. Here, you know what I want to throw up? I'm going to throw up my email address again. If anybody has a message that they want us to throw up during our Mother's Day show to your mom or to your wife or to your sister, or throw out or whatever. Well, I meant throw up on the screen.
On the screen, right? I know.
Not yeah.
We'll throw it right up for you.
There you go. Email it to me. I'll get them into the banners and we can throw it up periodically. We'll do like a little moving banner of it all. If you guys want to, just email them to me, thenikkimadoroshow.com. We're going to be talking with the moms beyond your wildest dreams about Mother's Day. You know, let us know some of your favorite things to do. Is there a lot of pressure on what you do on Mother's Day? Do you have a kind of a tradition? Do you like to spend it with your children or not spend it with your children? Should it be more for the younger moms who are down in the trenches or the older moms who've been doing this for a while? So that's going to be our Friday show, plus a bunch of other things as well. So make sure you've clicked that thumbs up button, show your support for the show. Please make sure you are subscribed and tell your friends so we can bump up our community. And as always, the Super Chat's always live. And thank you to those that donate, even though this show is in its new format with some recorded, some live. Thank you to all of our donors. Sign up to be a Madorable. It's simple. Just go to thenikkimadoroshow.com and our Patreon link is right there. We depend on you to keep this show going. So if you love the community, please support us. You can also support us with PayPal. Same email address. Just go to paypal.com, hit the send button, and then put the email address, thenikkimadoroshow@gmail.com. And tomorrow I'll also show you my delicious recipe that I used. Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors. I used the hibiscus, the pineapple hot sauces, the guava barbecue sauce. That's in the package. I made a delicious meal that Kim McAllister would not touch with a 10-foot pole.
A little too spicy for me. What did you make?
Nope, not going to tell you until tomorrow.
Oh.
But you would never eat it.
Did you use all the sauces at once?
No, I just used the pineapple hot sauce, not the hibiscus one. I had to choose. But it was bomb. It was so freaking good.
Yeah.
So support Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors, and that supports us. Use the coupon code Nikki M, NIKKIM, and when you do, you get 10% off every single order. So it pays you, pays us, and it's delicious. You're gonna love the sauces, so try them out. All right, until tomorrow, we will see you on our Mother's Day show. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.